He slammed his boot onto her back with such force that the sound cracked through the neighborhood like a gunshot. My 8-year-old daughter, Ava, lay face down on the concrete, her colorful chalk dinosaur smeared beneath her tiny body. She whispered in a broken voice, "Mommy, I can't move my legs." And the man who did it wasn't even a real cop. But what happened next? No one, not even myself, could have predicted. Let's go back to where it all began. It was a lazy Saturday. The air was crisp and cool. The sun hung low and sleepy over the rooftops of our quiet cul-de-sac. Somewhere nearby, a lawnmower droned, filling the air with the comforting hum of suburban normalcy. Ava sat on the driveway, her little body hunched over a vibrant masterpiece made from sidewalk chalk, a bright purple T-Rex surrounded by tiny stars. She hummed happily, lost in her own colorful world. Her backpack lay open beside her, crayons and chalk strewn across the pavement like candy. My wife, Megan, rocked gently on the porch swing, wearing her robe and sipping an iced tea filled with lemon slices and crushed mint. Every few minutes, she glanced down at Ava with that small, proud smile only mothers wear, the kind that said, "This is what it's all about." I was inside the house, rinsing my coffee mug in the kitchen sink, mentally going over my list of boring Saturday dad tasks. Mow the lawn, fix the leaky hose, maybe clean the grill if I was feeling ambitious. That was supposed to be the whole story of the day. Mundane, peaceful, forgettable. But life rarely warns you before its sucker punches you in the gut. A strange vehicle rolled up the street, a white golf cart, modified with flashing orange lights. The words HOA Patrol spray-painted crudely on the sides. It skidded to a halt in front of our house like a bad joke. 2 men jumped out. They were both middle-aged, heavy-set, dressed in tan cargo pants and safari-style shirts, looking more like men going hunting than community volunteers. One wore a black cap embroidered with HOA in cheap thread. The other clutched a clipboard as if it were a badge of honor. Neither had official credentials, no badges, nothing but the loud arrogance of people drunk on imaginary power. "Hey," the man with the cap barked. I couldn't see them yet from the kitchen, but the screen door was open, and every word came through clear. Ava looked up, startled. "I'm just drawing," she said timidly. "You're vandalizing community property," snapped the clipboard man. "This isn't your driveway, sweetheart." I walked onto the porch, heart sinking fast. Megan had already stood up, her iced tea sloshing as her hand trembled. "Excuse me," Megan said sharply. "She's just a child." "Your child is vandalizing HOA-governed sidewalks," the man in the cap said. "That's a Class C violation. Unauthorized markings." "She's 8. Megan protested, her voice rising. "She should know better," the clipboard man sneered. "Graffiti is graffiti." That's when I started walking toward them. Not running yet, just moving fast, trying to keep myself from assuming the worst. Hoping it was a misunderstanding, some overzealous HOA wannabes looking for trouble. And then it happened. The man in the cap stepped forward and barked. I said, "Get up," before shoving Ava roughly with his boot. She toppled sideways, her elbow crushing the chalk beneath her. "She's a child," Megan screamed, rushing toward them. But before she could reach her, the man planted his boot squarely between Ava's shoulder blades and slammed her tiny body into the pavement with a sickening crack. The noise was louder than it should have been. Her screams sliced through the air, a high, sharp note of pure agony, and then silence. A terrible silence. And then, from the ground, a whisper, "Mommy, I can't move my legs." The world turned to static. I don't remember crossing the lawn. I only remember being on top of him, my fist raised, my knee grinding into his chest, the air wheezing out of him. Megan was cradling Ava, whispering desperately, "You're okay, you're okay." But even as she said it, we both knew it wasn't true. Blood trickled from Ava's nose, her lips quivered, her fingers twitched, but her legs were frighteningly still. "Call 911. Megan screamed into the void. Neighbors emerged from their homes, drawn by the chaos, phones out, voices raised. Some gasped, some cursed. One woman ran over with a first aid kit. Another neighbor wrapped a blanket around Ava's tiny body as Megan wept. The second fake officer, clipboard man, backed away in a panic. "We were just enforcing policy," he shouted. "They're not even real cops," someone screamed back. I grabbed the cap-wearing man by the collar, and pulled him close until our faces were inches apart. "You think you're in charge here?" I growled. "You just broke my daughter's back. Understand that." He opened his mouth to argue, but I slammed my fist into the concrete beside his head, hard enough to make him flinch. "Shut up," I hissed. "You've said enough." He looked up at the crowd now circling us, dozens of phones recording, dozens of faces twisted in disgust and rage. "You just paralyzed an 8-year-old girl," I said, voice low and dangerous. "And guess what? I'm Mason Hart, Warden of Crestwood Correctional. The same prison you'll be sent to, if you're lucky." He blinked, uncomprehending. "Pray the cops get here before I lose my composure," I added. Sirens wailed in the distance. The ambulance hadn't arrived yet when the first police cruiser screeched into the cul-de-sac. 2 young officers jumped out, wide-eyed at the scene unfolding before them. And then, like bureaucrats trained to manage optics, they walked toward me, not toward the man still pinned beneath my knee. "Sir," one said stiffly, "we need you to let him up. She can't feel her legs." Megan shrieked. "You touch me," I growled at the cop, "before you secure him, and I will have your badge under review by Monday morning." The cop hesitated. "I'm Warden Hart," I barked. "Federal clearance. Class 8 background. If you want to verify it, my credentials are in the black truck 5 feet behind you." The second officer blinked in confusion, realizing this wasn't the usual suburban squabble. "You won't let this man stand after he assaulted a child," I added coldly. The crowd began murmuring, words like spinal injury, video evidence, monster floating in the thickening air. Finally, the cops relented and cuffed both men, one groaning under his own weight, the other blubbering about just following orders. The EMTs arrived seconds later. They whisked Ava into the ambulance, Megan climbing in after her, never letting go of her tiny hand. I stood there, fists clenched, breathing hard, heart thudding painfully in my chest. "What's your name?" I demanded of the man I had pinned. He didn't answer. "You'll give it eventually," I said. "Intake at Crestwood doesn't accept, I don't remember." The truth, and the nightmare, unraveled fast. They weren't HOA employees. There wasn't even an active HOA in our neighborhood anymore. It had disbanded years ago. These men had made it all up. A fake patrol, a fake enforcement team, issuing fake fines, threatening residents, creating a climate of fear and compliance. And Ava's broken body was their final escalation. The story exploded in the media within 24 hours. Doorbell cam footage of the assault went viral. Local news, national news, talk shows, politicians. Everyone saw it. Everyone heard it. The footage was damning. Ava's soft hum interrupted by shouts, her tiny body hurled to the ground, Megan's scream echoing through the air, my tackle flattening the assailant in the grass. The 2 men, Logan Price and Travis Denton, were arrested on multiple felony charges: assault of a minor, impersonating law enforcement, conspiracy to commit fraud, criminal harassment, and attempted abduction. But the nightmare was bigger than 2 men. Investigations uncovered dozens of fake HOAs operating across the country, scams run by small groups preying on the fears of everyday families. I founded the Civic Integrity Initiative, partnering with senators, judges, and community leaders to combat these scams. We created a nationwide registry of certified HOAs. We exposed frauds. We protected families. And at the heart of it all was Ava's purple dinosaur. Her drawing became our symbol, a smiling T-Rex surrounded by stars, printed on banners, yard signs, bumper stickers. Your imagination is not a violation. Through surgeries, through painful recovery, through endless therapy, Ava never gave up. And one day, against all odds, she walked again. Slowly, painfully, but she walked. At a packed town hall meeting 6 months later, Ava stood at a podium, braces on her legs, a crutch under one arm. "My name is Ava," she said confidently. "I used to think sidewalks were just for walking. Now I know they're for standing up." She held up her framed dinosaur drawing. "I want this in City Hall," she said, "so nobody ever forgets what fake power looks like and what real strength is." The crowd stood, cheered, cried. Ava smiled, not just with her mouth, but with her whole soul. "We walk our neighborhood every Saturday now. Ava, Megan, and I, with chalk in our hands, drawing dragons, frogs, stars, hearts." And slowly, the sidewalks filled again with laughter, with color, with hope. Because this is our neighborhood. It always was. And it always will be.